This is an incorrect recap of chapters 1 through 10 of the series SSS Class Revival Hunter. Chapter 1. In this world, there is a tower filled with monsters, angels, demons, gods, and yet humans still try to climb this tower. Well, those that are capable at least try to do that. And then there are those like the man on your screen right now, a man who knows that jumping from bridges is free. Our main character, Kim Gong-ja. Someone who spent a little too much time arguing with random people on Twitter that now he is just a husk of a person who is what the streets would identify as a loser, who really wants to be the #1 hunter in the world, the Flame Emperor, as he watches every news broadcast and article he's on, just trying to be even 1% like the Flame Emperor. And speaking of which, the Flame Emperor is asked a question by the media that lights up Kim's eyes like a boy seeing his first pair of honkers. And the question, what words of advice would he give to aspiring hunters? The advice the Flame Emperor would give to aspiring hunters is, the words are gripping to Kim like a pair of 2013 skinny jeans. Which, side note, thank God that stupid ass style fucking died. The words the Flame Emperor would give to those young and up and coming hunters is to move, bitch. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way, move, bitch. Ah, my bad. The Flame Emperor then drops the mic and walks off the interview. What in the fuck was that? Upon hearing such inspirational words, Kim decides to close his laptop like his favorite Ekin just sent him a link to a rope and instructions on how to tie a knot. Kim is devastated. Can he truly never be like the Flame Emperor? What is he here for? Just to suffer? And in the sadness and fury, Kim rips the articles off his wall featuring the Flame Emperor, swearing that if he had the power of the Flame Emperor, he would be the greatest hunter this world would ever see. Upon hearing this bold declaration, the tower, seeing his desperation, grants Kim what he's been begging and bitching for all this time: a skill. And not just any skill, but an EXSSS grade super duper skill named Imposter Syndrome, allowing him to copy anyone's skill. Oh my god. With this skill, this changes everything about Kim's life. Oh, not so fast. What does that fine print at the bottom say for Kim? That in order to use this skill, he needs to be killed by them. What? Chapter 2. How could this happen to Kim? He's made his mistakes. So now, even with the tower officially telling Kim to perform the parachuteless skydiving challenge, he's not exactly taking the news well, as he is now sloshed out of his mind, causing a ruckus at the bar and kicked out of said bar. He then proceeds to drunkenly stumble into a domestic. Oh wow, would you look at that? It's the Flame Emperor and the Saintess, and they're talking about the Flame Emperor's cucking addiction. Oh, that's certainly a lifestyle choice of all time, but that lifestyle has nothing to do with Kim. Or at least it didn't until Cuxard over there uses flamethrower on Galele. It's hyper effective, which officially makes Kim the worst thing, a witness, which Cuxard notices and uses wing attack on Kim. It's super effective. Cuckanine walks over to Kim and says he's the perfect loser to fuck his side piece. Is he available this weekend? Kim responds through the pain that he's real busy walking his bed this weekend. Well, how unfortunate. He was the perfect LR class loser for the job, but hey, what can you do? As Makarov once said, no Russian. And he's dead. But now in Kim's dying moments, at least he finally gets to activate a skill. Kim's dying thoughts? That dumb fucking combustion didn't even use the right Makarov quote from that mission. And dies. Or so he thought, but oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have an upset alert. Kim is somehow still alive. Oh, the betters on couch, you're not gonna be pleased about this one. Chapter 3. So it's now yesterday, but that's definitely not how death works. Kim's pretty sure that dumb Cuckmar used the wrong Makarov quote and killed him. Wait a minute. Kim has the skill Imposter Syndrome that requires him to be killed by the skill haver to copy their skill. Oh my god, does that mean that fucking Cuck-a-doodle-doo had a goddamn time reversal skill? What are the chances of that? So what are the drawbacks of the skill to view the user's most severe trauma? Ah, cool. So it's time reversal with a little mental fucking on the side. Sweet. But now that he's back, does this mean he gets his run back with Infern Cuck? Yes. Yes, it does. But how to find him? Oh, speak of the devil and he shall appear. So like, how is Kim actually supposed to deal with Cuckflosion over here when he's a level 999 mob boss who upon death can just go back in time and he's a level 1 coughing baby? Well, it's a really simple plan, but also suicidal plan. Like literally a suicidal plan, going back in time before the Cuck board becomes a level 999 and was just a measly level 1 noob. Chapter 4. Wow, he did it. He actually self-reset himself over 4,015 times to go back 11 years in the past. Dedication, baby, dedication. Well, now that he's back in the past, it's time to start Operation Cucktaster. First thing, find out where he lives. Check. Wait for him to wake up at the usual time. Check. Wait for him to start heading to the dungeon. Check. Gather his favorite lubricant from the local transmigrated slime population. Check. Now it's time. Lights, camera, action! As Cuckchar makes his grand entrance. And Kim approaches him with the ever classic help step bro, I'm all sticky from the lube cliche. And Torcuck falls right into the trap. Yes, helping out one's fellow hunters is what one should do. So he is willing to give Kim the degreaser. Well, he was thinking about it, but changed his mind. And that's because now that Kim knows the wonders of the slime grease, he's going to be messing with the Cuck Delore's own supply. And well, as Makarov said, no Russian. Kim finally gets to retaliate, telling him to please shut the fuck up and to stop using the wrong goddamn quote from the greatest FPS shooter ever made. If he's going to use a quote from that mission, the quote to use is, "That's not a message. This is a message." Now standing over the Cuckolossal's corpse like Randy Orton, which finally allows me to stop making fire type Pokemon Cuck names, Kim says how is it possible that he self-rebooted over 4,000 times, but yet he's still less of an asshole than him. Truly impressive, as he leaves his corpse to the wolves. Now at the bar, celebrating the first steps to becoming the greatest hunter in the world and getting rid of the level 999 boss before he became the level 999 boss. Truly a celebratory time, when then a rather dapper gentleman makes his way into the bar, asking for a glass of milk with no ice, and make sure the milk is freshly squeezed. Kim turns around to see who it is, and holy fuck. Chapter 5. Is that the Sword Saint? Wow, Kim swore that he mysteriously disappeared 11 years ago. What is he doing here? Ah. Right. May God deliver righteous vengeance unto those that walk the path of a sinner. Hey yo, who or what in the fuck is the Sword Saint talking to? The Green Goblin mask? What is going on? You know what? That has nothing to do with Kim. Wait a minute. The Sword Saint is the #1 ranker in the world right now, which means that Kim's gonna need to die to him, isn't he? For fuck's sake. The Sword Saint slams the money down on the table, yelling to not worry, the sinner will not make it past tonight, as he then takes his leave. Kim then shortly after also takes his leave as he starts trailing behind him. The old man leads Kim into the forest before turning around and saying, "His sins cannot be hidden from God, so there is no use hiding from him any longer." Well, the thing is, Sword Saint, Kim is but a lost little lamb seeking salvation. The Sword Saint is disgusted as slanderous harpy down to speak in the tongue of the Father is a sin worthy of death. But wait, aren't all languages the tongue of the All-Father? Which underworld deity has sent him to claim his soul, huh? Izumani no Miko? Hela? Yama? Osiris? Or that bastard Hades? Wait, why does the Sword Saint have beef with the entire Smite 2 roster? No matter who sent him, the Sword Saint does hope that Kim knows that a sinner such as himself will never be able to claim his soul. Especially a fiend who has sinned more than 4,000 times. Ah, damn. So like he can see that above his head? Even though the Sword Saint has never encountered a sinner of his level, it does not change the fact that he shall perish here and now. Chapter 6. A swing and a miss. Kim barely manages to avoid decapitation, but does not avoid the cliche as old as time. Now on the ground, weak, vulnerable. The Sword Saint prepares the final blow, but then suddenly stops as he starts talking to the Green Goblin mask, wondering why is it telling him to wait a second. Kim then remembers, oh wait, he's supposed to get killed by the Sword Saint to take his skill, right? The Sword Saint still being distracted by the goblin mask in his head, Kim stands up, provoking the Sword Saint, saying how he thought he was going to purge all sinners, so why the cold feet? In that case, Kim's heard he has a beautiful granddaughter, and with that provocation, Kim has died. Again. Well, he achieved what he was desiring to achieve from the start. So now it's time for Copy a Skill, everyone's favorite game show. Let's spin that random skill wheel, because even though Kim can copy skills upon death, Kim cannot see what skills he's actually getting, so everything's on RNG. So let's go gambling. And the skill he got is Martial Master's Consultation. What the hell does that even mean? I mean, it's A+ rank, so it has to be somewhat useful to Kim, surely. When then an unknown being begins speaking in Kim's head, asking who the fuck's being so loud. Kim is rightfully puzzled as he turns and sees a mysterious man saying that if the old man plans to go senile, take that shit elsewhere. Oh, you gotta be shitting Kim right now, right? Chapter 7. Who in the fuck, what in the fuck, when the fuck, where in the fuck, why in the fuck is this? Has the old man already lost it and forgotten that he's the martial king of the 7th realm and his master? Wait! So the Green Goblin mask that was in the Sword Saint's head was actually him? Wow, that makes a lot more sense. The Martial King turns around to see that who he's talking to is not the old senile man he had grown accustomed to, but someone completely new. The Martial King then starts panicking. Oh my goodness, he's been abducted by a strange man. And oh my god, a strange man is now stuck inside Kim's head. The Martial King then starts crying for the Sword Saint to come and save him. If the Martial King could knock that ghost shit out in Kim's humble abode, that would be great, as all this is a lot for Kim to take in, as he has to hide from the Sword Saint while simultaneously having to now fight the Green Goblin mask in his head. Great. The Martial King's confused. Hide from old man Marcus. Why the hell does Kim's ass need to do that? He may be senile, but he's overall a kind fellow. Well, funny thing about that is, right, so he knows about the sinner skill the Sword Saint has. Yes, the Martial King is aware. So what possible sinner score does 4,091 is Kim's sinner score? Stop the cap. Kim's a total fucking noob. That's impossible for him to have killed that many people, unless he's a mass murderer, but that can't be, because with the skills Kim has, he would have been caught long before he even got close to 4,000. So yeah, the Martial King is right. However, for one little itsy bitsy fact, that center marker seems to even count if one offlines themselves. And Kim offlined himself a lot. And he means a lot. So like, he has the skill, right, that allows him to copy a skill from anyone, but it requires him to die to the person who has the skill. And thanks to RNGesus, the first person who killed Kim happened to have a ridiculously OP skill where every time they died, time rewinds 24 hours. And that's the skill he also now has. So he's trying to tell the Martial King, let him do some quick math, that he really banned himself from the live Twitch channel over 4,000 times to go back 11 years in the past. What in the hell is wrong with him? There's no way Kim can still be sane. The Martial King then looks at Kim and asks, what's his name? Well, his name is Kim Gongcha. He tells him to stand up. Why does he want him to stand up? The Martial King then circles around Kim, looks him up and down and says, it'll do. So now the Martial King just wants Kim to hunt down a few slimes. Simple, right? Kim fruit ninjas them down with ease. The Martial King is even more convinced that this might actually work. Kim is wondering, did he see what he was looking for? Yep, he sees that Kim is a complete fucking noob with amateurish ass tendencies and garbage fucking movement. Overall, he would give Kim's performance a D-. Was it truly that bad? Because Kim thought he did quite well. The Marshall King explains that's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. But if there's one thing to compliment him on, it's that Kim's a complete psychopath that fights with no regard for his own life. Since Kim now has a built-in respawn beacon, he fights like one would if one had a built-in respawn beacon. So if there is a talent there, undoubtedly that is the one talent he has, to fight like a zombie. So one last little question to confirm his theory. When he fought Old Man Marcus, what were Kim's final thoughts in that moment? His thoughts? Has anyone ever noticed that the waning moon looks like a giant side boob shadow? The Marshall King burst into laughter, just like he thought. Kim is fucking mentally cooked, which means that this is going to be way more enjoyable than the Marshall King initially thought. So is Kim ready to be made into the strongest hunter in history? Chapter 8. Wake the fuck up, samurai. It's time to rise and grind, grind and rise. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Does Kim know what that alarm means? It means it smells like bitch in here. Ayo, can the Marshall King just shut the fuck up? It's 4 o'clock in the godforsaken morning. How can Kim want to be the greatest hunter in the tower when he's incapable of waking up at only 4 a.m.? If the Marshall King wasn't already dead, Kim will tell him to kill himself. How ungrateful of Kim to not know how lucky he is to be trained by the Marshall King. But fine, since Kim wants to play games, the Marshall King can play games too. If Kim refuses to get up, the Marshall King will mentally make Kim feel the pain of getting nut checked until he gets up. Kim will find his corpse and make sure to desecrate it. What's the issue? It's not like Kim could actually die from the training. He would just rise from the dead like a zombie. So get the fuck up, zombie, it's time to work. Kim realizes that he no longer has a choice. Now out here running at crackhead hours, does Kim see the joy of being up early, starting the journey to being the greatest hunter? Especially since he's starting on the subterranean level. But the Marshall King is curious. So Kim's starting from the bottom hunter-wise, but they're going to need a lot of money as the microtransactions needed to be the best or not cheap. So when is Kim no longer going to be a part of Broke 5 Broke? That's the fun part, Marshall King, because now Kim gets to do the thing that everyone would do if they regress back in time. The Marshall King is curious. What's that? A clerk then welcomes Kim to Putty Cat Palace, and how can he help him? Kim's here to redeem a few lottery tickets. They could not pay the Marshall King enough to ever put on that fuck ass hat. That's great to hear. The merchant troupe wishes him the best of luck on his lottery tickets. As the clerk goes ahead and scans the tickets, and of course, they're all winners. Wow, this is now kind of a problem, so the clerk has to run and grab his manager real quick. Take his time, take his time. Kim has nothing but time. The Marshall King is like, yes, this is indeed one way to pass go and collect $200. The Putty Cat Emergency Manager is here to guide him to the VIP room if Mr. Kim can please follow him. Oh, Putty Cat Manager, Kim would be more than happy to. Chapter 9. Now that Zombie Kim has come up on some pocket money, does he know the next thing he needs? That would be elixirs, right? The Marshall King is surprised. His dumbass actually knew what to get. Oh, the Marshall King thinks Kim's a fucking idiot. Gotcha. So Kim's also aware that elixirs cost the prettiest of pennies. I mean, this is pre several inflations. How much could they actually cost? The Marshall King then tells him the cost for Kim to give the same reaction when everyone heard that some OF models were making tens of millions of dollars a month. Are they shitting Kim? Do they know how many happy Indians he could buy for that price? The Marshall King says FNAF. Kim instantly knows what that meant. An Old Man Marcus jump scare. Here's the good news. Old Man Fazbear passes by with no incident. However, the bad news. Old Man Marcus is now going into the elixir store they were planning to go into, so their plans are officially canceled. Fuck, now what are they supposed to do? Well, Marshall King, this is the benefit of being a somewhat regressor. What is Kim currently on about? It's the fact that no one starts off as famous. Now in the downtown streets of London, innit? The Marshall King says to Kim, he did not know it was possible to get your dick stuck in a crack pipe. You really see all types of wild shit in the back rooms. By the way, what did Kim mean earlier, no one starts off famous? Listen, Kim didn't come back 11 years in the past with nothing but his cock and balls in his hand. The two approach a scene of a man screaming at a woman that the boss gave her one goddamn job and she fucked it. Then the same man yells at another man to take all the shit. The woman says to just give her like 1 more month and she promises she can fix the side effect of the previous potion. As she then grabs the back of the cart, the man pulling the cart says, "Don't be like that. They're just taking back the stuff that she bought with the money their boss gave her," before she's knocked down from the cart. The man pulling the cart turns around and says, while a tempting offer to have her fix the boss's side effect, the boss would rather not risk another side effect to cure the current side effect. As the 2 men then walk off with a cart full of her stuff. And all the lady can do is sit there and look. She then gets up, looks at everyone saying, "So none of them are gonna help her, huh? After everything she's done for this community?" Someone in the crowd says, "He's been lactating for weeks because of her fuck ass potion." Well, I mean, if they put it like that, how about a buy one, get one free special at her shop? Everyone else proceeds to leave. She slumps to the ground like she's lost everything and her day is officially ruined. When Kim approaches her asking if she's dead ass about that buy one get one free special. Yes, of course, she's a businesswoman that never goes back on her word. How much is he looking to buy? He don't know, like around 20,000 gold worth of elixirs and potions sounds about right. Excuse her, what in the fuck does he mean 20k worth? Does he mean 20k worth in like cash or like in crypto or NFTs? Of course he'll be buying the elixirs in straight cash. So, is her shop open? Chapter 10. If Kim could please part of the mess, as she hasn't had time recently to clean up the shop, so if he could just ignore everything he sees, especially the research material. The Marshal King asks him, what exactly does she research in this mess? Potions, Marshal King. All sorts of potions. So is he sure he wants to commission her for 20,000 gold? As he saw outside, all her shit has just been repoed. Yes, he's sure. By the way, why was her stuff repoed? Well, you see, there's a drug kingpin near here who's been having some male-specific performance issues, and he commissioned her to give him something that can help him rise to full attention. But she made it a little too strong, and now anytime he gets a little excited, he passes out as all the blood from his body migrates down south for the winter. Sounds like to Kim she has that good shit he's been looking for. Wait, Kim's actually serious about commissioning her for 20k gold. Yep, Kim's deadly serious about it. So what does she say? If he buys her new equipment, she'll have it done within 4 days. If he doesn't, it'll take 3+ weeks. Is Zombie Kim sure they should leave her with that commission because the Marshal King doesn't trust her with making that elixir? Oh, come on, Marshal King, just trust him. What does he think? He self-OTK'd himself for the fucking vibes? No, just sit back and watch. 4 days later, Castellan brings in his commission. So here's all his elixirs. Kim asks her, so how does it feel being 20k richer? It feels nice, but she is not sure why he even commissioned her in the first place. Kim says it's called intuition. He blew 20,000 gold on intuition. People have spent a hell of a lot more on intuition. Has she ever been to the Wall Street's Bet subreddit? So with this commission over and done with, Kim is curious as to if she would like to keep working with him, as Kim's going to need a lot more of her services in the future. Castellan agrees to the deal, and since he was the first one to give her a big break, for all future commissions, he gets 20% off. Kim loves the sound of that and will be seeing her in the future. Now, later in the day, Kim's transported into a dungeon to test out his freshly acquired elixirs. The Marshal King tells Kim to make sure he chugs it, which he does, which might have been a mistake, as the elixirs is like if Red Bull fucked the charged lemonade from Panera Bread, then they had a threesome with 5-hour energy, as the elixir starts whooping Kim's ass. The Marshal King says, does he want to know a fun fact? That the human body is not meant to actually ingest this much caffeine? Everything feels fucked up, doesn't it? He bet his perception of time and space is probably slowed due to the cardiac symptoms. The Marshal King bet his head feels like it's fucking splitting open right now. As the Marshal King says, but there's no need for Kim to actually panic or worry during their training session, as it's not like he'll actually die, remember? As then a giant onion-eating ogre appears behind Kim.